All right, look what we've got here. We got ourselves an 1851 Navy. Yeah, this is a great Pieta copy. Okay? And what we're going to do is I thought I'd show you guys, since we're on our cap and ball kick here at the channel, we're going to go through and show you guys how to do a little bit of a tune-up from start to finish. And we'll fast forward a little bit, that way you guys see it's not all that difficult. This is just something that we always do when we get our cap and balls. We've been doing it for a while. It's fun, it's easy, you can do it yourself. You know, a lot of us here at the channel, we don't consider ourselves gunsmiths at all, or experts or nothing. We're just people that like to shoot and like to do stuff for ourselves. So for, you know, all the YouTube Nazis out there who like to, you know, pick at that, nitpick at all this stuff, hey, you know what, you guys have your way of doing things and we got ours. You don't like it? Hey, guess what? Maybe this channel is not for you. Like I said in the intro, this channel is not for a lot of people, but for you guys who want to learn how to do this stuff yourself, this is how we do it. This is the best way we know how. If you guys know, send us a video on how to do it. Don't just tell us in the comments. Come on now. Send us a video, show us how you do it. Some of you guys have the, I hate to say this, but some people have the grammar and the writing abilities of a third grader. So it's kind of hard to get your point across when you're not using correct grammar. So I hope I didn't offend you guys, but you guys know who you are. So let's get into this now. What we did, we took our Pieta apart here, and a bunch of cool videos out there. If you guys really want to see how to take this guy apart, check out Duelist 1954. I'm sorry, Duelist 1954. He has an awesome black powder channel. That guy rules, man. Telling you, that guy knows more about black powder than he has forgotten more about black powder than I probably will ever know in my lifetime. So check out his channel. He's a great YouTuber, a lot of great information. And you know, instead of just complaining and whining, why don't you, a lot of you guys should be grateful that you get to see people who are into your sport. Because remember, when people are not in your sport, the sport dies. So a lot of you old timers, I understand you guys are grumpy, retired, got nothing else to do. Hey, I understand that. But you know, try to push your sport on other people instead of just knocking people down. And you wonder why people don't want to get into the shooting sports. There's no black magic to this. There's nothing, no secret sauce. This is just taking it trial and error. That's what I want to show you guys. So, like I said, we already disassembled the gun. And the first thing I like to do when I take the gun apart, oh, look at this. This is a brass frame. Yeah, I know you guys in the brass frame crowds, how they stretch, this and that. But that's okay. We just use about 15 to 20 grains of 3F in this gun, and we shoot it. It's fun. Actually, this is not our gun. This is our buddy Jim Bob over here. Jim Bob, thank you for bringing it down. He wanted us to do a little bit of a cleanup on it, a little bit of a smoothing up. And oh, look who we got here. Dun, 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 dun. The Dremel. Oh, I know a lot of you guys can't control the Dremel, are scared of the Dremel, and are Dremel haters. I like to akin those kind of people. They're just like the what do they call them? The hoplophobes, the gun freaks. They can't control themselves with guns, so they want no one to have them. You Dremel phobes out there, oh, what am I going to do with the Dremel? Oh, I'm going to Dremel the inside. Oh, I'm going to Dremel my... All right, enough of that now. You guys just got to learn how to use Dremel when and where. And remember, these parts are cheap, people. You can find them anywhere. So if you guys mess up your trigger doing a trigger job, we're going to do a trigger job on this gun, but I'm not going to really go into too much detail. If you guys want to know how to do that, I think I'm going to put up a separate video on doing a trigger job to get this guy down, because they're just fun to shoot, and it's more enjoyable when you don't have that creep in the trigger. So, with that being said, let's get started. First thing I like to do is, let's put him aside. We're not going to use any kind of barrel work today, or cylinder work. And I like just to clean it up, especially if they've been shooting it, it gets dirty. Clean it up, use a little polish. I use Flitz. That's awesome. Flitz is great. You see how nice, we were messing around with the Flitz on this guy. Look at that, how shiny they get. You know, and clean guns are fun to shoot, easier to clean. And are they shiny? Will they take, you know, blind you at the range? Yeah, why not? But you don't have to get them clean. Just look how nice they get. They get shiny. You know, you're looking at brass, beautiful color. And you can see they get dingy, they get dirty. Hey, that's what happens when they get shot. Alright, so I like to deburr the inside of this guy first using a variety of files. I've got a little rat tail file over here, small one. Since this is brass, They're really easy to take care of. Take your hammer, and if you look at the hammer after you kind of give it a good cleanup, you'll see where it's scratches. You see these scratch marks right here? See these? Well, those are from the inside of the receiver right here. That's just milling marks. And of course that increases the drag and inefficiency when you shoot. Now this side is nice. See that? There's no marks on this gun. This gun's been shot various amount of times. What do you think? About 50 times he shot this since he's gotten it. So not a lot, but you can see the wear right here. See the wear? Right there, the scratches. Well, those scratches, like I said before, they lead to slow lock time. That's the time that it takes for when you pull the trigger for the hammer to come down and ignite your cap. That's not that great. You want to get rid of those. So we look where it is in relation to the inside of the receiver here. And you can see, all right, so we've got some scratches right on the inside of here. So you just take your file, and I did this before we started filming just to go through, and just kind of give it a good cleanup, you know. You can see some of the material that we removed already, and all you're doing is if you haven't filed before, you put the file down, just do a little bit of filing back and forth just like that. You may use a little bit of chalk. I use some chalk, but on this little guy right here, I'm not worried about it. See? Kind of wipe it down here. Let me grab a brush here. I got a toothbrush I use for removing the filings. Use some chalk. That way you don't clog your file. And that'll work. That'll work just fine. So go through here, and you know where especially you want to file. You want to make sure everything gets cleaned up. Is in where the hand rides it up and down, right inside the hand pocket, right in here. You see this right here, right there. Any resistance in there? Let me see if I get that on film or on tape or on digital media, whatever they call it now. Whatever you can clean up in there will make the hand ride very smooth, very nice, and you won't have to worry about delayed lock time, and the action will come out feeling like glass as it is. So we'll just kind of go in here, kind of smooth it out a little bit, the channel, you know. And with when you've got brass like this, it is a piece of cake to file that up. It kind of removes the material pretty quickly, and you don't got to worry about, you know, damaging your files all that much. Let's go through here and take a look. Just take a look. You can see the high spots where we remove material. It looks good. Let's look down the hand channel here. Yeah, see, the hand channels are always rough on these guns. And you can see, well, I don't know if you can see, but on the screw over here, this is the, I believe this is the, I want to say the trigger screw or the bolt screw, one of these screws. They actually went through to the other side in here, kind of broke through. So you could tell that these guns are not made with the highest quality, but hey, I think this gun was like 150 bucks when he bought it years ago. You know, for 150 bucks, what do you expect, right? You get what you pay for. You guys all know that, especially when it comes to guns. But that's why we make these videos, so you guys could check it out. So we're gonna go along and kind of like just smooth a lot of these areas out, especially in here, in the channel where the hammer goes back and forth, right in here. You know, the more you can reduce the burrs that are inside dragging against the hammer, the lighter you can make your spring. Where'd the spring go? The lighter you can make your spring, and the easier. Here's the spring, and the more pleasant they are to shoot. I had a lot of people were sending me emails telling me, why don't you put the spacer in between the frame and your spring? And yeah, you could do that too. You know, but you find out what works for you. And what they're talking about is you can put a piece of leather right here. This is the bottom frame, see? That way when you put the screw back here, you've got a little more flexibility, a little more leeway. But like I said, everything works differently for everybody. So do what you want to do. If you like it, if it works, great. If it don't work, try something else. Like I said, this isn't rocket science. We're not depending on these for our life. That's what we have our ARs for, people. Remember that. The ARs are the ultimate weapon for self-defense. These guns are great relics of the past. Relive your history. But the ARs are what we use for defense. Don't ever forget that. You don't bring a knife to a gunfight. So, what I'm going to do is just kind of go through here and, you know, try to get the rest of these burrs all taken out of here, which they're not going to be that much of a problem, especially with the gun we've got here made in brass. And then what I'll do is take a little bit of the, I use this, this is a piece of copper tubing that I just smash the ends down. And I use that on my guns, that way you don't got to worry about damaging your guns. And you kind of go in here and smooth it up, and you can see how it turns black just from a lot of the residue that you can get out of there after you're filing. And this polishes the inside of the gun too, why not? You know, we do trigger jobs on our Glocks and our ARs and all the other good stuff, our 308s. Why shouldn't we concentrate on our cap and ball? It makes cap and ball shooting a lot more fun. You know, you go out there, have some fun, lazy day, black powder, bag of lead balls, and just plink away. You know, oh, look at that, that's nice. I don't know if you can see in there, but let's see if you can see inside the slot. See how it's just right inside here. You want it to be nice and burr-free. Remove any milling marks. I'm going to work my way into the hand channel here. So I'm going to work, and then we'll fast forward a little bit so you can take a look. Just kind of see what we're working on, how we're doing. That way we don't bore you guys to death. Alright, now, once you get done with the inside of there, you know there's no burrs, and it's pretty cleaned up. Yeah, it looks good. It looks really good. I like the way that came out. And you'll notice when you go to cock your gun how nice it'll feel. Just smooth as glass. That's what you want. You guys want it to be smooth as glass. Let's get this out of the way here. Now, another thing you can do, I'll show you. Let's focus on our hand here. Now this is the hand out of this particular gun, and it is rough. Let me show you something. Look at that. That line running down the middle. I don't know what that's all about. I don't know if that's a stress crack or what. But we showed Jim Bob that, and he wasn't too thrilled. So what we're going to do is, the timing on this gun seems like it's pretty good already. So I'm not going to mess with the hand on here just yet. But you know what? In the future, like I said, we have a video on stretching the hand. So if you guys want to, you know, if your timing is off, now's the time to do the hand. Actually, what you want to do is you want to do a trigger job on these guns first, you know, and then you do any hand work that you have to do. So trigger job first, hand work second. Now I'm gonna clean this up, and I'm gonna, you look and you can see where it's kind of rubs inside the pistol, and I'm gonna polish it, but I'm gonna use the Dremel. Oh, here comes the Dremel. Let's use a little bit of, hold on here. Let's get this guys separating out on this. Alright, so we're going to use a little bit of Flitz. So I think it's really good polish, and it does the job. Put a little bit of Flitz on here, and we'll kind of just dab it over here on the hand where we're going to polish it here. We'll do a little bit of a polishing job on here with the Dremel. And like I said, if you can't control yourself with the Dremel, don't use it. So not a lot of work. Not a lot of work. We'll take, I think what we're going to do is,
well, we went to the corner and then we went all the way around.
I think we're going to use a little bit of 600 grit here. Alright. We'll get this guy. So, just like that, we polished our hand. And the hand is really rough to begin with, but just a little bit of polishing. You can see right here where it's just really rough. I don't like that. Hello, is the dog. She wants to help out too. Yes, don't you? No, leave that there. That's ours. Okay. Yeah, thank you. And she's always trying to be helpful here. There you go. I'm going to do the bottom here because that's where it rubs against the bottom of the frame. And it doesn't look like it's all that smooth to begin with. So anything you can do to remove. Let's get our another little rag here since our dog took the other one. There we go. Now let's hit it with the Dremel a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more. Wipe a little bit more flits on here. There we go. What are you doing, puppy? What's that? What are you doing? What are you doing? Well, alright, so we did the work on the hand. Pretty basic. A little bit of sandpaper. See? And now look at that. She shines. She's not so rough anymore. Now, the hand on this one, this is where it comes up right here. See? See? So, now, remember, like I said, you do the trigger job first, then you do the hand, where you stretch the hand. And we've got a video on stretching the hand. You can just go back and look at our channel. It'll show you how to do it. All right, after we got that done, I like to look at the bolt. Or, I'm sorry, not the bolt, the hammer here. Now, you see we've got the, right here, that's the bolt notch. You can see that's the how it looks. It looks really nice. This one was milled really nice. And if you look at it, you could also see, let's put it over here, the full cock notch is right here, and the safety notch is right there. See that? And you can see how deep the safety notch is. Let's see if we can get her over there. There you go. You see that? How nice that is? So that when the gun's in the safety, you see? It fits beautifully. And then there's the full cog notch. See that? See how nice that sits? And what we're going to do is we're going to trim a little bit off of the trigger over here. Now remember, when you guys do this, if you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. What we're going to do is just take our stone and cut that edge a little bit and make it so it fits in there beautifully because we've got a nice full notch. One more thing I like to do before we do that is I'll sit and I'll polish the lug over here for the bolt just a little bit so it slips off real easy. And then I'll polish the back of the trigger here. So it's like glass. And again, we just remove the color case hardening from there. No big deal. See? And you make it slick as glass. That way when the bolt comes, let's see if I can find the bolt. When the bolt comes and slips over there, you know, it's just like glass. Oh, one more thing. You can touch up your bolt too. Now we've checked the bolt notches to our cylinder and they all fit pretty good. So we're not worried about that. The only thing is this is where it goes over the cylinder notch in there, the cam, the bolt cam right there. So we're going to polish that up too. We're going to take, let's get a little flitz here. And the dog's getting a little antsy over here. What are you doing? Yeah, so get a little bit of the flitz. We'll stick it on the bolt notch. Now, flitz is about as hard as I'll go. as abrasive as I like to go. See how we shine that part up? Yeah, see that? That's where you want to look at. We'll take and hit it with a little bit of sandpaper. Alright, so once we get that, we'll hit it with a little bit more Dremel. I like to slick up the parts. Look at that. It feels like glass. Beautiful. And what it cost? Nothing. We didn't remove any material. All we did was microscopically smooth it up. You like that? Well, we're going to run long on this video, but that's okay because we're going to show you guys the way we slick up our gun. So, oh, one more thing I like to do is take a little bit of our 600 grit paper again and just run it through here. Another thing you can do is kind of slick it up the inside and make sure it gets nice and clean, so there's no, you want less, the least resistance possible. There you go. So that's what we're doing in here. Okay, and you can see it gets black. Oh, that's just, you know, milling marks and all that good stuff. So, doesn't take any effort, any additional effort, and your guns come out a little bit slicker. And you'll see, I mean, we won't lighten up any of the trigger springs or any of that stuff, just because they don't really do anything. These little guys right here, it really doesn't have an effect on it. I know in some of the older Colts, I think in the older Colts they had this cut all the way down in here so the spring wouldn't break anymore, but on these new ones they're not like that. You can buff it up, it ain't gonna hurt nothing. Just remember, you don't want to get the spring hot where you can't hold it, because if it does, you're going to start ruining the temper of your spring. So it never hurts to kind of smooth it out. That's what we did here. Smooth it out, give it a little bit of a polish. There we go. Just so that there's just a little bit. And then you know what you can do is put a little bit of Molly or some of, if you got any gun grease, put a little bit of gun grease, and I'll show you where on your contact points. So, alright, we're done with that. So now we've addressed the hand, the bolt, the spring, the what I call the receiver here. Our receiver, our hammer. All we got now is our spring. One of the last things we've got is our spring. Now the spring, like I said, when you're grinding away on the spring, you just want to take off enough that, you know, you line it up, and always oval it like this, just like that, because you want this to see how it's flat. Let's see if we can get a side view. You see how that's flat? Spring likes to be flat across the top. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to make it an oval shape. That way it distributes the pressure and the force a little bit easier. It's the easiest way I found to lighten these things without actually having to worry about them breaking. So we got our handy dandy grinder here, or bench sander. starting to get warm and you don't want it to get hot. Hotter than you can touch is no good. You don't want to ruin the temper of your springs. So, and there you go. You can see how we've rounded it off a little bit. Now put it back in the gun and test it out. If you don't like it, too heavy still, get it, grind it up a little bit more. I'm going to grind this one up a little bit more. Yeah, starting to heat up again. So when it gets hot like that, you just want to back off. Now, you don't want to grind up here where it sits in the hammer notch, or in the where it rides along the hammer right there. You don't want to grind up here, and you don't want to grind down here. This is where it attaches to the frame. So you can see how we did that. So now the the spring is nice and rounded. See? And you could take and hit it, because this was 120 grit, I think, sandpaper we used for this on the actual belt. And you just finish it off on with your 600 grit. That will definitely reduce your felt cocking pressure on that. There, see? Next thing to do is put it all together, test it out. One last thing we're going to do, and I already checked this gun, and it's what's called positive, and we'll go into this a little bit later. But what I did was I checked the trigger pull on it, and what happens is anytime you do a kind of trigger job, when you start pulling the trigger, you want the hammer to cock back a little bit before it goes forward. That's how you know it's positive. So this gun is positive, but it has a long, creepy trigger. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the back of the sear right here just a little bit, reprofile the sear, and we're going to use a stone for that. If I can find this stone, I don't know where it went. Oh, here it is. We got our stone. This is our Arkansas stone, hard Arkansas stone, and we're just going to use this, and we're going to hold it at an angle, and we're going to drag it until we get the shape that we want. So, and then we're going to fit it to the back. Now, you can also check your trigger. I'm going to show you how an easy way to do that. Take your hammer here, and you can put that in there, and then you take your trigger, and you can put that just like so, and you can see how it fits. Oh, it'd be helpful if I put it in the right way, right? You can see how it fits in the gun, just like that. There we go. Yep, hold on. It'd help if I put it in the right hole too, right? Alright. So, this is how it sits in the gun, in the action. You can see that there. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove some material from the back of the hammer. See how it sits in a full cock notch right there? We're going to remove some material from here at an angle like this. Alright. Oh, I'm going to have to leave you guys for a little bit. Dog is calling me. Alright, so let me show you what we did here after we chopped the sear. You can see on the back here, we kind of cut it at an angle. So what we did is we cut it at an angle following the file over here, like that. But remember, you're dealing with case hardened parts, so you don't want to go through the case hardening. And I'll show you what happens. Let me scroll down. I'll show you from the other video that we did, or the other shot that we showed you. And I like to work with the pieces outside just like this, so you can see exactly what's happening inside the gun. Here's the full notch cock. You see that? And then now when you pull the trigger, see that? So when you're holding it, you're pushing pressure on the back of the hammer right here. you've got nothing. You see, no push off. The gun is safe still. But when you give just a little bit, you remove some of that creep, boom, the gun goes off. So, something for you guys to think about. What we're going to do is we'll do a video showing how to do that, because there's a lot of things, a lot of variables that go into there. But that's about what I do for the gun. So, just to reassemble it and test it out and see if there's any more drag. You know, redo the spring if there's too much drag on it or the spring is too heavy. Redo the spring and you're ready to go. That's about the basics for doing a cap and ball revolver. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, send them over. Like I said, we're not gunsmiths. We're not well, we are tinkers. That's all we are, guys. We like to shoot, and we try to shoot, do our best, and we do it because we want to be self-sufficient. That's the whole key, is being self-sufficient. So, till next time.